It began with a hum, low, electric, barely there, a sound that danced at the edge of perception, like static before a storm, like breath on the back of your neck. But it wasn't the rain, and it wasn't the wind. It was coming from under his bed. The man's name was Elias Gray, a quiet man, middle-aged, lived alone in a second-floor apartment that smelled of dust, old paper, and the silence of long conversations never had. He wasn't paranoid, not really, but he noticed things, small things, and on this particular night, he noticed the hum. It came as he turned off the bedside lamp, just after midnight, a steady buzz, like the world whispering through copper wires. He leaned over the edge of the mattress, listened. There it was again, a pulse, like a heartbeat made of lightning. Cautiously, Elias knelt beside the bed and lifted the hanging sheet. He expected a dust bunny, a dropped phone, a rogue charger buzzing against the floorboard. Instead, he saw light, flickering, blue-white, swirling in a perfect sphere the size of a grapefruit. It didn't touch the ground. It floated, an inch above the hardwood floor, spinning slowly, sparks arcing inside like a storm trapped in glass. It was beautiful and utterly impossible. Elias didn't move, didn't blink, he just stared. Because somewhere, deep in the quiet places of his brain, a voice whispered, "That's not supposed to be here." Minutes passed. The ball didn't fade. If anything, it grew brighter. He reached forward, fingers trembling, then hesitated. But curiosity was stronger than fear. He touched it, and the world stopped. No, not stopped. Shifted. The room blurred. Colors bled together. The air grew heavy, like underwater. And then, a flash. Not just in his eyes, but behind them, inside them. He was no longer kneeling. He was standing. Somewhere else. A desert, vast, cracked, endless. The sky was violet. The stars moved, not like constellations, but like predators circling prey. In his hand, the ball still floated, calm, alive. A voice spoke, not out loud, but inside him. 1,000 voices, 1,000 years. You have touched the core. You have been marked. You are now a carrier. The desert disappeared. He was back in his room, on the floor, sweating, heart pounding like a war drum. But the ball was gone. No sparks, no hum, just stillness. Elias crawled into bed. Didn't sleep. Couldn't. Because something had changed. In the morning, his hands crackled, not metaphorically, literally. Static danced between his fingers. He shocked the doorknob, the faucet, even the cat from across the hall. His body had become a conductor. Of what, he didn't know. He Googled ball lightning. He Googled dimensional hallucination. He Googled, am I dying? The internet had no answers. But the mirror did. His eyes, once dull gray, now flickered when he blinked, like thunder hiding in the whites. The next night it came back, not under the bed this time, above, floating near the ceiling, spinning faster. He didn't touch it. He didn't have to. It touched him. Memories he didn't own poured into his mind. Cities made of crystal, skies burning gold, armies marching under a three-mooned sky, and always, the core, the lightning ball. In every vision it floated, observed, judged, a tool, a weapon, or something worse, a key. Over the next week, Elias changed. Not just strange sparks or flashes behind his eyes. He became smarter, sharper. He remembered things he never studied. Languages, formulas, star maps. He dreamt of machinery that hadn't been invented, woke up with blueprints in his head, drew them in notebooks with shaking hands. He didn't know what they did, but the core did, and it was showing him. One night, the power went out across the city. Elias didn't notice. His apartment glowed. Every bulb burned, every outlet surged, and at the center, above his bed, floated the core, now the size of a basketball. It pulsed, once, twice, then spoke, again, not aloud. "You are ready. The gate will open. Prepare your world." He tried to ignore it. He tried to forget. It still, but the sky had other plans. The next day, the clouds over the city parted, sharply, unnaturally, like something cut the sky. Lightning danced in broad daylight, and in the center of that storm, for those who could see, a sphere, like his, but massive, like a moon made of lightning. People panicked. Phones died. The city grid collapsed, and Elias just watched, because he knew this was not a storm. It was an arrival. That night, agents came. Not police, not military. People in dark suits. No names, no insignia. They knocked once, didn't wait. Inside, they found Elias sitting cross-legged on the floor, eyes glowing, sparks arcing from his fingers to the ceiling, and the core, now the size of a child, spinning slowly above his head. One agent pulled out a weapon. Another whispered, "Don't!" But it was too late. Elias stood, and the room disappeared. They found themselves in the desert, the same desert Elias had seen, cracked, purple, vast. They dropped their weapons, fell to their knees, because now they heard it too. The voice. The carrier has unlocked the eye. Witness, remember, decide. Visions poured into them, not dreams, histories, of civilizations that found the core, that thrived, and others that misused it and burned. The core was not a gift, not a curse. It was a test, a question, and Elias had been chosen to answer it. Back on Earth, chaos spread. The lightning orb in the sky multiplied. Cities across the globe reported sightings. People began hearing the hum. Some disappeared. Others awoke, changed. A new phase of humanity had begun, and at the center of it, a man no one noticed, who saw something no one believed, and touched something no one understood. They called it the Lightning Age, a time of storms, revelations, and ascension. Elias did not lead it. He simply lived it, quietly, still in his apartment, still under his bed, because once a month, the core returned, to speak, to judge, to whisper. The test is not over. And Elias would whisper back, "I know."